we'll pull a card for anything that wasn't mentioned.
Yeah.
If there's anything else on your mind that we didn't mention, we'll pull a card for you too.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Ooh.
Okay, let's start. Bring your mic close. You just pushed it away. We're about to start.
No, because I need the room. Okay. Should
Okay,
we
cool.
do I have 3 decks: numerology, tarot, and energy. So
Yeah, I have a
they're all
couple
really
decks
good
here
ones.
too, so we'll figure it out. Okay, you ready for me to introduce the show? Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Hi Vibin It. This is Kelsey Aida, your co-host. I'm here with Lindsay Robinson, my
What's
bestie, who
that?
also happens to be a hypnotherapist. And we hop on every week to help you live your best life. And this week, we're just doing a little solo ep. We don't have any guests. And we thought it would be really fun to pull some oracle cards for you all. And we're going to kind of base it on well, whoever's listening to this, you're listening for a reason, right? You're always a vibrational match to the content that you're absorbing. So if you're here, it's because your spirit team has a message for you that they want to deliver to you via Lindsay and I and our cards that we're going to pull for you. So we were thinking it would be fun to do, for example, like if you're stressed and you're listening to this, okay, we're going to pull a card on that and give you some advice and we'll talk on it. And then maybe if you're having relationship troubles, here's a card for you, that type of thing. So that's kind of our episode idea for today because I don't know about you, Lindsay, but in my coaching work, I always incorporate cards at the end. Do you pull cards for your clients too?
Every time. And a lot of times because it's become so synchronistic, what we're talking about will just show up in the cards and it's just freaking weird every time. And I know there's some of my clients listening that have had this happen to them where I'll pull a card and I'll be like, I'll go to open the book to the card and it will just open to that page and I almost like I scream and it's so weird. It never gets old, like how synchronistic they are. So I've tried to like challenge myself and draw the card before the session or like while we're talking in the beginning of the session and just see how it holds up at the end. It's still so like on point every time. It's really funny. But yes, I do every single session and it's some of their favorite parts because
So
it's just
get
so fun.
this. That happened to me the other day when I was working with a client. I pulled this card and the card was like, you should also refer to this other card because they have similar energies or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm going to look through the deck to find the other card. Like, it's probably going to take me forever because there's like 78 cards or however many there are in the deck. And it was the next one right on top. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
And it's so
every single
funny.
week, the card I pull, I'm like, are you kidding me? It's just because, like, the universe, it just don't lie. Those vibes don't lie.
And you think like after doing it so much and after all these years, I wouldn't be surprised
Right.
anymore. Like, oh, of course. But like, no, it's still shocking
It
every time.
never
It's still
stops.
so cool. The energy that these cards bring is just amazing. So I'm
Hmm.
excited for this. It's going to be really fun.
Okay, let's start with a simple question and a simple deck that I have here. This deck, and maybe I'll link to all the decks for you guys in case you want to get any of these, because that could make this a little more fun for you all.
So I have a really good idea. I think
Mm-hmm.
we're going to pose the question or the topic or the category, and then you pull one and I pull one
Ooh, okay.
for each category.
I like that. So here's the first question. For anybody who is wondering if they should go after that thing that they've been thinking about or pursue that big dream, this is going to be the card that is for you. Okay, let's shuffle here.
So I
While I'm
already shuffled all
shuffling.
mine, so I think I
Oh, okay.
can probably do mine. Yeah.
Okay, pull yours.
Okay. So the one that's kind of speaking to me is my Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. So I'm going to cut this, pull one of these bad boys. Okay. So the card I got for whether or not you should pursue what? A job opportunity, a relationship, or what? Anything?
Whatever is like that big thing in your life right now that you think about a lot. It
If
could
you
be
should move
different for
forward with
anyone.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So the card we get for that is number 14, Caring Connections. Okay, so if you're watching Patreon, you can see the card and I'm going to read it. Some of these cards I've drawn so much that I basically know it, but I'm never gonna just rely on my memory because it's not always great. Caring connections, friendship, partnership of two, possible love. This card shows a couple in a tender embrace. Like the community card, it reveals a caring connection, but usually between only two people. This card upright signals the beginning or deepening of a kindred spirit friendship or even the appearance of a new love. It can also signify a formal business partnership. When this card appears, be on the lookout for new connections presenting themselves. The relationships you already share may become more intimate, purposeful, or present at this time. Notice the opportunities to forge new or deeper bonds. There may be a tender karmic connection at hand.
So I feel like if
Dang.
your question or situation has to do with connecting with another person, whether you're starting a new business together or moving in together or going to the next phase or just going on a date, even, or I don't know, starting a new friendship, whatever it is, that seems like this is a promising time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the card that I pulled is really interesting. And don't misinterpret it when I tell you what it is, because I'm going to tell you how it's coming to me. It says let go. And to me, this is a card of
Yeah.
like, let go of your expectations and be open to things maybe looking different or being better than you had imagined. And it's like, let go of that tinge of neediness or
Yeah.
desperation or clinginess or this has to work out, otherwise nothing else is going to work out, or those types of energies is what you want to let go of. It's not saying let go of the dream, it's saying let go of the limiting energies and sponsoring energies that are not helping you to stay open to it happening better.
Like it.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I think we all need help with that sometimes. Just let
Letting
go of
go?
your own
Yes.
way. I think that's what, yeah, let go of your own way and be open to all the different ways it can work out perfectly for you.
I
Yes?
like it. Yeah.
That resonate with any of y'all? Hopefully it does.
New
What do we do
question?
now? Another category? Let's
Yeah,
see.
let's do another question.
So
Let me,
what did we just do? Okay. How about if we do like if you feel I'm going to use my personal example. If
mm-hmm.
you feel possibly overly worried or stressed out about a certain situation in your life, um, this might give you a little bit of guidance as well. What do you think?
Yep, I like it. I think that's a very relatable question.
I've been extra stressed out these days. I have a lot going on. So this is very welcome guidance for me.
What deck are you pulling from?
I just pulled from, okay. I pulled them before we asked the question. So this actually is one of those situations where it's just too perfect. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Starchild Tarot, and this is by one of my favorite people, Danielle Noel, and the artwork is, I forget who does the artwork, but I think she did it both actually. She did both. So she did the artwork and the cards. One of my favorite artists, the Starchild Tarot. There's also a Moonchild Tarot, but I don't have that one yet, and I'm super jealous of anyone that has it. It's so good. It's so pretty. Anyway, the card I picked up for if you are extra worried or overly stressed about a situation and your mind keeps going back to all the ways it will probably go wrong, I feel you. And here we go. Five of Crystals reversed. Okay. It's a very pretty card. It's
So
got
basically the Five
the
of
moons on it.
Pentacles
Yes, I
in like
believe
the
so.
traditional tarot. Yeah.
So reversed, I'm just going to read right what it says. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, y'all. Look ahead with a renewed sense of optimism as you are now being able to proceed with confidence and strength. An understanding of the cycles of your life, much like, okay, there's a typo here. So that's embarrassing. An understanding of the cycles of your life, much like the Wheel of Fortune, but it says life, the Wheel of Fortune. So that's weird. This card indicates a passing or transition of one phase into the next. So I don't want to just say don't worry, but just know that it's all working out. If you needed a reminder that the universe is working in your favor for your highest good and is doing its best work for you, there you go. There's your sign. I like that. That makes me feel better. What about you, Kels?
Okay, first of all, you're gonna have to help me pronounce this word because
What?
I've never seen it or said it in my whole life.
Uh, oh, chicanery.
Well, there you go. Chicanery, folks.
First of all, I have to say, we pulled the number 14 first, and I already told Kelsey before this call that ones and fours are super interesting and they always mean lucky to me. And this is card number 41.
Weird
So,
or weird?
chicanery. Let's read about chicanery.
Okay, but listen, first I need to explain this deck. So this is one of my favorite decks right now. It's called the Blind Spot Oracle Cards by Teal Swan. And basically, they have an energy of like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And they tell you what's in your blind spot. So, what's in your blind spot is what you don't know that you don't know. So, usually, these cards are telling you, like, if you would stop doing this thing that you probably don't even realize that you're doing, that's going to bring resolve to the situation and help move things along. So, in this case, we got chicanery. Did I say it right?
Chicanery. Yep.
That's a funny word.
It is.
The card is number 41. It has this very interesting image on it. And these cards have sigils, which are not just symbols, but they're like the image actually translates a vibration to you of the healing that you need in order to resolve the problem. So if you want to see this picture, go to our Patreon, join there. It's only $3 a month to see all the episodes that we do and watch them in video form and get extended episodes every week. And you can watch this podcast and you can see all the cards that we're pulling. So did I give the link? It's patreon.com/highvibe. But anyway, so for anyone who's stressed, here's what's going on. This is a very long, in-depth card, so hang with me here. Chicanery. If you have drawn this sigil, the extremely positive attitude or behavior you are showing towards something suggests that you feel lack or fear you lack a trait you deeply desire.
Hang on.
You fear,
Read the first sentence again.
If you have drawn this sigil, the extremely positive attitude or behavior you are showing towards something suggests that you actually feel lack or fear you lack a trait you deeply desire.
So it's like overcompensating in a way?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So when you fear you lack something, instead of becoming aware that you feel that lack within yourself, and instead of what? Sorry. Starting over. When you fear you lack something, instead of becoming aware that you feel that lack within yourself, and instead of overcompensating in other areas, you overdo it in that area of deficiency. For example, you may be socially anxious, but you overcompensate by acting overly socially confident. Or if a person fears that deep down they are prejudiced and therefore lack perceived goodness of character, they will often go to extreme lengths to prove their generosity and positive attitude. They will act unprejudiced and demand equality from those who are openly prejudiced relative to a stigmatized group of people. This is even truer when their sense of themselves as unprejudiced is threatened in some way. Overly positive or rigid attitudes can so often suggest underlying negativity we are trying to deny, reject, suppress, avoid, and disown. If you have drawn this sigil, in this situation, you are terrified about something you fear that you lack. As a result, you are overcompensating to try to cover over the truth that you either fear that you lack something or you actually do lack that thing. Are you fooling anyone? Are you fooling yourself? What are you afraid that you lack? What would be so bad about lacking that thing for you personally? Now is the time to face the lack, which you are using chicanery to try to prove doesn't exist.
So, in terms of the question we asked or we posed, which was if you're worried or stressed about a certain situation, this could speak to that toxic positivity that we sometimes bring up on the show, where it's like, if I just power through and don't even pay attention to my negative feelings and I just like think positive and think positive until it hurts.
Yeah.
That's what it's talking about. So, don't do that. It's very important to pay attention to how you're feeling and, as the card says, get to the root of it and the cause of it because it all has a purpose, it all has a meaning, and it could clear out once it's paid attention to.
Yeah, and in this case, some questions that you can ask yourself are, what are you afraid that you lack? And what would be so bad about lacking that thing for you personally? Like, why would it be bad if you weren't that way? Or, do some soul searching, get honest with yourself, and ask this inquiry with compassion and see what comes up, because pretending like your fear isn't there,
It's just going to prolong it.
not the help not helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta deal with that in some way if you want to move forward and not be stuck with it. So yeah, also it's good to meditate on the images of these cards. So anyone on the Patreon, take that in, imprint it into your psyche if this was a question for you.
Yeah.
But I love those cards because they're very in-depth, and she always gives like solutions. Like in that case, ask yourself these questions and see what comes up. So cool. What's our next question?
What if we did, what was the first one? If you want to sign about something you're going forward with, or you want to, that you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about, if you're extra stressed was the second one, or worried about something. Um, would trying to manifest something be a separate category? Like if you want something to come to you and you're not sure how to proceed.
How about let's ask, what do I need to do to help my manifestation allow it to happen more quickly?
Ooh.
Because probably a lot of people's stuff is happening, but they might be stopping it, blocking it, having some form of resistance.
Or in my case, it happens and you're like, okay, but it happened once, not twice. Like, why do we do that? I'm really good at doing that. And I would love to release some of that, because it's like ignoring the fact that it's happening and just mad about the fact that it didn't happen the way that would be even better. And that speaks to the first thing we said, which was get out of your own way and stop focusing on the way that you want it.
Well, and what you're
Um,
talking about is an attitude of like, it's never enough.
yeah, which is also me. It isn't,
Well,
because
and that's ingrained in us, like as Americans, it's like keeping up with
yeah.
the Joneses, and you gotta have all the things, and here's the new thing you gotta have, and blah blah blah.
What do you think keeping up with the Joneses means? Because I wonder if you actually have the actual definition versus what I thought it meant.
Oh, I think it means like, oh, the Joneses are your neighbors, and you have to
Yeah,
like, it's like a competition of like, okay, they have a nice car, I need a nice car. They have a big house, I need a big house.
right. And I always thought, and maybe it means both. Maybe this is they kind of came from each other. But as a kid, and like when I heard this, like as a teenager and growing up, that saying like I'm jonesing for it. Like I have a jonesing for this one thing. I felt like it was like a noun, not a noun. Is that right? Yeah. Or a way that you're
A
feeling, an
verb.
adjective, verb. Yeah, something like that. Yes, a verb. Thank you. Grammar. Like
Grammar and words today are not our
I'm
strong
jonesing
point,
for this. But what if
clearly.
jonesing means goes back to it like originates from keeping up with the Joneses? Maybe
I mean, it
Jones.
sounds like it. I mean, I think this is a question for the Google, but I think you're onto something here.
I don't know if anybody knows. Head over to the Patreon and please educate me, because I don't really know. But
Educate
yes,
us.
keeping up with the new thing, keeping up with the trends, what other people have and what they're doing. But for me, it's more like, and maybe some can relate. I tend to fall back on this default that once I have like this pile of whatever it is I'm trying to attain, I'll be so then I can relax, or then I can be happy. But if you really think about it, it's never done. What does Esther Hicks say? Abraham Hicks?
You're
You're
never going to get it done, and you're never going to get it right, or something like that.
never gonna get it wrong, and then you're never gonna get it done. You
Oh,
can't get
that
it
makes
wrong
more
and you'll never
sense.
be done. Yeah, you can't get I've said it wrong so many times, but you can't get it wrong and you'll never get it done. You'll never get it done. So anyway, what was the question? What are we talking
So,
about
our
here?
question was, what do the listeners need to do to help their manifestations move along more quickly?
Okay. So you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first. I'm shuffling over here. Hopefully, my shuffling's not super loud. I'm trying to do it kind of away from the mic here. Lindsay, does it sound very loud?
No, but I have a card ready. Do you want me to just go?
Sure.
So my card is number 1. Why is it so many ones and fours today? This is so weird. Card number 1 in my numerology deck. It's called uh, Numerology Guidance Cards by Michelle Buchanan. And I really love these cards. They're awesome. So, what do you need to do? The card is number 1, new beginnings. Okay. So, this card indicates a time of new beginnings, which is kind of what the last card said, which is interesting, where there will be plenty of opportunities to create a fresh start. These opportunities play an important part in catapulting you to where you need to be. So it's in your best interest to follow them wherever they may lead. By drawing this card, you're being encouraged to find the inner strength and courage to step into the unknown. Oh, I like this.
Mm.
To feel the fear and do it anyway and create a brand new life. The opportunities may present themselves in the area of relationships, home, or career. There might be a chance to move, study, or embark on an exciting new endeavor. Regardless, you must pay attention to the signs and seize the moment when it arises. When you're open to new beginnings, the universe will send you the next logical step to take. So I don't really think that it can get more on the nose, but what do you need to do? Well, be open that you can reset and restart anytime you want, and new opportunities are on the horizon. Be optimistic and ambitious and move with the changing tides. Embrace the mystery of the unknown, and you will make your dreams come true. You want the affirmation at the bottom just for
Hmm.
extra? I embrace new beginnings and make my dreams come true.
Okay,
I
so
like
it's
that
about being
one.
open and embracing. Um, this other card is really interesting. So we asked what's going to help people to release resistance, manifest more quickly. And the card that I got is from the deck by Rebecca Campbell. It's called Work Your Light. It's the first one. She has
Have
two
that
decks, I
one.
believe. It's really cute. And everyone's always like, it's so pretty. What is
I
that
bet you the
deck?
artwork's done by Danielle Noel, is it?
Yep, it is. It sure is. So this card says protection, call back your power, cut cords, and soul retrieval.
Mm-hmm. I
And the
like this
way
card.
that the messages are coming through from this card is it's like what people, things, jobs, activities are taking your energy and sucking you dry, and where are you giving your power away in your life? And you're going to need to stop doing that in order to
Yeah.
become the person that can have what you're asking for. This also could have to do with cord cutting. If you need to let go of an ex or someone toxic in your family, you need to have a better relationship with them or whatever it is. Cord cutting is, if you guys haven't heard of it, it's a way to ask Archangel Michael to come in and cut any negative energetic ties or attachments or contracts that you have with other people so that you can free up your energy to either relate to them in a more healthy way in real life or to just not have a relationship with them in 3D at all and let them go. And soul retrieval, when I've done soul retrieval, it's a practice of reclaiming parts of myself that I've denied, rejected, or disowned. And this is a really powerful way to bring your power back. And this is something that I do with my one on one clients. So if you want help calling back your power and doing some soul retrieval, hit me up and let me know for some coaching. But basically, the energy of this card is like, what's draining your energy? And how can we assess and fix that? Because that's going to help the manifestation happen much more quickly.
And shameless plug here, I have an amazing cord cutting hypnosis in my membership that is
Woo! Yay!
actually perfect for this card.
Perfect. Okay, so go get that. Where can people find that?
Oh, well, it's called the Align Your Mind membership. They can get it from my website. I have it linked in my Instagram. I mean, if you
So
can find
basically, go to
if you
lindsayrobinson.com and
yeah,
find the membership.
if you find me anywhere, you'll see a link to it. But it's great. I have hypnosis for basically anything and pretty much everything we've covered today. And I know Kelsey's doing her one-on-one coaching. I mean, we got you covered, ladies and gents.
Yes.
Um, I have another card, but I don't know what the question should be. I pulled it before.
Let me channel the question.
Got Jeopardy music, anyone?
Everybody wants to know about love.
Love. Who doesn't?
What do they want to know about love? Why they can't find it? Yeah, let's go with that. For all you singles out there who are frustrated, this card is for you. What is
This is
it?
actually funny. So the card I pulled before we asked the question was the cornucopia card, which is soup's pretty, but it was reversed. And look at the number, Kelsey.
11.
Always ones and fours today. So cornucopia reversed. This card reversed is often a sign of personal frustration. You may find yourself feeling
What did I
discouraged
just say?
by having your wishes denied, or perhaps you're just disappointed with the delays involved.
Ah.
You and me together, freaking magical. Listen to this. If obstacles seem to block your way, or too disheartened if obstacles seem to block your way, it may be simply about taking some patience and persistent action, or it may require a radical shift in how you're approaching your goals. This card reversed may indicate a cycle of restriction or a period of lack or loss. Don't let this deter you. Use this time to go deeper. There may be a lesson to learn or an entirely new direction to take. Be open, flexible, and aware. And remember, there are many roads to happiness.
AKA, there are many people you can be happy with. So just because it didn't work out with that one person that you thought it was supposed to be, maybe there's another one.
Right? And listen, there was this thing I saw on Instagram that was like, don't hold on to somebody who wasn't who you thought they'd be. If they were the one, they would have shown you, which I thought was so powerful. Like, if they were the one, they would have shown you. It wouldn't be this huge confusion. Okay, the affirmation for this card: the universe is abundant. All that I desire comes to me in just the right time and way. I am blessed.
So basically, the energy of that card is like, wait patient. It might take a little hour, but just know that it's happening. And this period of loneliness is only a season. You don't have to define yourself by it, and you don't have to project it onto your future and make it mean that you're always going to be alone or you're never going to find someone, because it doesn't mean that at all.
You cannot get it wrong, and you'll never get it done. I love that. I need to write that down and just put it somewhere.
Okay, I'm going to pull one too for my Angel Answers deck again. So the question was for the lonely singles out there who are frustrated.
I remember being lonely and single. It's one of the worst feelings.
Yeah, it's not a great one.
Not alone, but lonely. Lonely is
Okay, this card is funny. It says no with an exclamation mark, which is just
Hold on, hold it up. I need to see that picture. It looks like very pretty.
So the picture is like of a lady who's by herself, but then there's like an angel coming to her, and then above her is a bunch more angels. So it's kind of like,
yeah,
how dare you think that you're alone?
Yeah.
Rude. Like, we're all here.
Rude.
Rude. How can you think that? We're all here supporting you, working on your behalf to like help your love life. Why you gotta
Can
be
I
so
see the
dramatic?
deck again?
Yeah.
The name of the deck. Angel Answers. Radley, what's the name? I want to get it.
Valentine.
Bradley Valentine. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this card is kind of like, look, we get that you feel lonely, but that's actually not, like, you're not actually alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's the message from that one.
Oh, I thought you were going to read. You're not going to read?
No, I like my explanation. I don't always read from the book unless I sense that there's like a sentence or two in the book that really is like, oh, that's the message. But in this book, I don't always feel like that. Usually I just go off the card.
I always feel like the card is perfect. Like, the card is the card. It's perfect. It's the one. But I never go further and try to like interpret it beyond the book. Maybe I should. I'm sure I'd be really good at it.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
So should we do another one? What should we do?
Mm-hmm.
What should we do?
Yeah.
We could go anywhere.
Let's do a card about, we did worry, we did love. What's going to help improve people's financial situations?
Okay. I think I'm going to go.
I'm going to use my Moonology one.
Is
that the one you were going to use? Because I think we both have that one.
We do, but all my decks, I don't know where my decks are because I'm
I need to grab mine. Give me a sec.
Okay, let me shuffle while she does that. I guess I'll just pull from the Starchild Tarot again, which is always a fun one. I don't know, man. I don't know where my decks are.
So the question was, if people want to improve their finances, What do they need to do at this time?
How to allow the money flow. Money flow. Okay. I don't know what to do about this one. What did you get?
Great. I always pull this card for people in sessions. It says,
Let me
work
see.
through your fears, aka
Ooh.
do some healing work around what you're afraid of, identify some limiting beliefs, time for some shadow work. All of that is encompassed in this energy because this card carries the energy of Scorpio, which is
Ooh.
the energy of death and rebirth and the shadow and the phoenix rising. And so this
Okay,
card
we
has a
both pulled
lot to do.
almost the same card. This
Wow.
is so funny. I pulled the Tower, which I'm like,
Oh,
oh
that's
crap.
totally in alignment with work through your fears. Yeah.
Complete or sudden change. And this is the second time I've pulled a card from a different deck, by the way, that speaks to a sense of insecurity or loss, as if your world has been flipped upside down. This can also denote situations which the mind, body, spirit are not working in harmony due to passive or unhealthy life choices. Rigid thinking, isolation, or ignoring the challenges along the way may inevitably reach a breaking point. The Tower encourages you to examine old patterns or systems of belief, leading to fresh perspectives that are transformational and positive in the long run. This card may also indicate a breakthrough in consciousness, which allows you to recognize your own personal growth through the purging of unnecessary burdens in your life. What is the greater lesson to be learned? There's another one about lessons. Okay, I think there's a theme here. Know that for every difficult situation we face, we are forced to grow from experience. Liberation comes from letting go and moving forward. And sometimes to do this, we have to hit a low point. Without the dark, there is no light. That's exactly what you just said. So there you go.
There you
Your
go.
witches have served you today. Your friendly neighborhood witchy witchies.
That's great.
That'll work.
Okay, so this one from the Moonology deck, Work Through
Yeah.
Your Fears. It says this card suggests a rebirth. Think of your situation as the phoenix that's rising from the ashes, as the birth, death, rebirth paradigm. That's what Scorpio energy is all about. What did I just say? Whatever you've been through, there's a new start ahead. It might be a little dark. It almost certainly won't be rainbows and unicorns, but it will be deep and transforming. First of all, I want to pause here and say that this is happening on a collective and universal lesson too, because we're in a period of transition, death and rebirth, old structures falling away, new things coming to fruition. This card also suggests that if you know you are magical, then this is time to work your magic. Boom. It can also herald the start of a sexier time. Ooh.
Ew.
If you've been experiencing something of a drought and emotional wait, what? Sorry. It can also herald the start of a sexier time if you've been experiencing something of a drought, and emotional intimacy is also on the menu. Scorpio is a sign that likes to go deep into the body, mind, and spirit. So when this card comes up, there's nothing superficial about what's coming your way.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Move on from jealousy, stop being obsessive. Make an investment. Ooh, good time to make an investment. But yeah, basically this card is saying, look, if you want the money, honey, you got to work through some of these fears. This is an opportunity for healing for you.
It's another way to say you're blocking yourself
On accident.
On accident, definitely. So how can you move out of your own way?
Yeah. It's all about identifying the blockages and then loving yourself for having created them in the first place.
So let's do a little role play.
Yeah.
How about this? When we say get out of your own way and work through your fears, let's just do that quickly. So you be you and I'll be me.
This is gonna be easy role to play.
It's gonna be so easy. And you would ideally, in order to work through and get to moving past it and get out of your own way, what would you do? Would you ask, like, what is the fear with lack? Like, what are you afraid of?
Yeah, I think
That's what
I
I
would
do.
start
What's
with
the
like,
worst?
what am I afraid of? Am I afraid that I
Mhm.
don't have enough money? Am I afraid that I won't have enough money? And am I afraid I'm going to lose all the money that I do have? And then once you identify like what you're afraid of, ask yourself, why would that be so bad if that happened? So
Okay,
if I
so
lost all my money, then that would be so bad because then I would lose my house. And then that would be so bad because then I would be homeless and alone and my life would suck and blah, blah, blah. And then
and
you,
even worse for you and I, let's just say, if we lost our own money and we're homeless, it would also prove that maybe we weren't good at what we thought we were. Maybe that,
well,
maybe
then we
we're
would
not.
make it mean, right. So it's like,
Yeah,
what would that
we
mean
would make
about
it
you?
mean something different.
Yeah, if
Exactly.
I lost all my money, that would mean that I must suck at manifesting and I'm a fraud and my whole identity is a lie. And then it becomes a whole big thing. It's not
The
just
whole
about money
thing.
anymore, right? So just
Mhm.
asking yourself, what am I actually afraid of? If something bad happened, what would I make it mean about myself? Because that's where a lot of the pain comes in, is
Yep.
in the meaning, right? And then from there, you can have compassion for yourself for believing that and just look the belief in the eye and be like, well, can I know for certain that if I lost all my money, I would be homeless and a fraud? No,
Right.
I would
And
never be
even
homeless.
better,
I would live with my parents or my sister or my friends. Like I'm resourced, luckily, So it's like for me to believe that that's just not like
mhm.
a, a possibility in my life. And
Well,
I think a lot of people can resonate with like, oh, when I looked at my belief, I actually realized that that would never happen.
and yeah, and what I was going to add on is once you realize what the fear is, and for each person it might be a little different. Once you realize what the fear is, for example, I would be homeless and it would mean that I'm terrible at whatever I thought I was good at. Where can you counteract that? How can you, if that's the fear and you make it about what it means about you, how can you start to feel or reinforce that you are really good? You know, um, I'm gonna reference what I I saw this video a while ago of Marie Forleo, who made a brag book where she just made a book and you can just compile whatever of all her raving reviews so that when she felt like an imposter or she felt like she was sabotaging herself in whatever way, she would go to her brag book and build herself up. So for somebody who feels like, well, it would mean that I was not as good as I thought, how can you right now start to just rewrite that fear and not even have it be a part of the equation?
Hmm.
Prove to yourself, use the evidence that's presenting itself to you to prove that that's not the case.
Hmm.
um, that's getting out of your own way. And then for whatever other reasons that people have for what it would mean about themselves if they lost all their money or if they never improve their financial situation, there are ways to counteract that and release it, and then therefore get out of your own way with it. And it'll take practice, as everything does that we talk about on the show. It takes practice, but it's definitely something you can do.
And what I always tell my clients too is like, you have to learn to tell the difference between fear that is like healthy fear that's actually going to
Yeah.
help you avoid something bad versus fear that's just like all talk and actually nothing's going to come of it. Like, is it a perceived threat or is it an actual threat? And if you go back and listen to one of our more recent episodes, we talk a lot about fear. The whole episode was about fear, worry, and anxiety with Monica.
Yep.
And that was a
Episode
good one.
86.
Yeah, to go look through that episode because it will help you if you live in fear a lot. Hey there, thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to watch the extended version where you get the full podcast episode in a video format, just go to patreon.com/highvibe. The link is in the description. That's where you can become a supporter of the show, listen to all the episodes via video format, and each week you get extended versions of the show, meaning you get to see the pregame behind the scenes, and also you get an extended interview with whoever we're guesting, or if it's me and Lindsay, we usually pull cards for you guys, fun stuff like that. So go check it out. There's lots of cool goodies, including a free copy of my book, a free audio hypnosis from Lindsay. She's a hypnotherapist. And yeah, we just want to give you all the goods, all the content. So head over to patreon.com/highvibe to become a Patreon.
Or if you'd rather listen to the rest of this episode, head over to highvibinit.com where you'll see all the links to everywhere that it's getting streamed. Click your favorite one and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for listening.